G'day YouTube, it's Shane here once again, and I've just come from the Bagster House Community Centre where every Wednesday from 11 a.m. they have free toasted sandwiches and coffees for people to sit and chat and enjoy. It's currently 10 to 12. Now I'm going to go to the see-through church, the Salisbury Uniting Church, to see what they've got for lunch. And then I've got to come back here because I've got to go to the Trinity Medical Centre and set an appointment with my doctor just to renew the scripts. No health problems, just need to renew my medication, which is rapidly running out. But I digress. So that's the plan for today. Very, very simple stuff. I also need to ring the Adelaide Oval and ask if they've got more work during the week, because I'm working during sporting events, which is great, but it's not covering rent and other things. So I need to be looking for work during the week as well. I do have a shift once again at the festival centre, and the funny thing was they make millions of dollars, right? A lot of the I don't know how many millions. I should ask Google, and I'll put the amount here if it tells me, or I'll put a bit of text saying it didn't tell me, and they'll give everybody a good laugh. But yeah, they make millions of dollars, but they penny pinch to the point where it's almost illegal. So last time I was there at the festival centre, they had a very short job, right? Took two people, say an hour and a half. Now we were paid for 3 hours, right? Because that's the award rate. And I don't want to speak legal stuff because I'll get hate, pushback or whatever, because I don't know it 100%, but in South Australia there are award rates and there are like award pay rates, but also like shift minimums. So if you get called in for a shift and they cancel it, you can be paid a minimum number of hours. So it might be 2 for some awards, it might be 3 for others. Now this one in particular is a 3-hour award. So it was basically a one-person job. There was 2 people there, and she said, well, it's a one-person job, I don't really need 2, so next time it'll just be 1 person. And then she sort of said, does Pinnacle have to charge me 3 hours? And I said, yeah. And but we both said yeah. And she goes, oh, I'll have to look into that. I'm like, yeah, but it's an award rate. It's the law. And you think, you're trying to, but the funny thing is the people that are offering shifts and things and controlling my income and trying to knock my hours back and all this sort of stuff, think, oh, yeah, it's $30 here, $30 there. That means it's a threat to my ability to continue to pay my rent, which is why I've been talking about welfare and stuff like that in previous videos, because it's a strong probability that I'll need to go back on it. And there's a waiting list for unemployment, and what am I supposed to do for rent in the meantime? It's just crazy, right? So $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies, micromanaging, trying to cut, every little cent, but they'd earn more in interest than they ever would in paying me a day's wage. It's crazy, or a week's wage, or putting me on full time. But the crazy thing is, the people that are controlling this income don't do anything at all. They don't do any physical labour. The reason I'm doing the job on Thursday is because none of her regular staff feel that they are able to lift very, very light boxes onto a trolley and transport them up one story and deliver them, and then stack those boxes in a room. Now, to me, call me wrong or whatever if you want to, but to me, that would imply that I would need new staff. Why would you hire outside people? Why would you need to hire outside people when your staff should be capable of going downstairs, stacking a trolley full of boxes, bringing them up via an elevator, mind you, up one floor on an elevator. Like, it's repetitive. It might be a little bit boring, but it's just crazy to me that people won't do the bare minimum. But these are the people that get hired. Oh no! What was me? I've got an office job. It's getting my hands dirty is. It's so beneath me. I mean, are you for real? Anyway, back to something else. I don't really like having to visit these soup kitchens and charities and things like that. I want to be actually contributing to the local economy. But that means that I need to be paid a proper wage and proper hourly rate and given decent hours, right? Everybody's trying to tighten. It's weird that the wealthier companies are tightening their belts and going, cost of living crisis, but that cost of living crisis should mean, okay, this is the point where you can become the hero. This is the point where you can go, okay, we can reinvest money back into the people that work for us, back into the economy, right? So that those people can afford to go see a play, to see a football game, to buy our overpriced products in the future. But of course they don't think like that because greed takes over, they penny pinch, and it's just an annoyance and it's frustrating. But that's unfortunately one of the downsides of capitalism, is that people get greedy, people don't want to share, people don't want to pay for the work that other people do. Like this, for example. I've had when I say this, I mean social media, this YouTube channel. I have a podcast. Now, I haven't done any episodes for, since December last year, and it's because there was no fan funding. People turned against Patreon, which I can understand for ethical reasons and stuff like that. But then they would throw their money hand over fist to a celebrity that tells a sob story. And but movie stars, people that star in movies, like money, and people who live in Hollywood, California, and Los Angeles and things like that, the wealthier areas, people who money should not be a problem, but they tell us a sob story, and next minute people are giving them money hand over fist. Whereas if I ask for $5 a month or something, people just, they glaze over and they freak out. And all of a sudden I'm being greedy to want to be paid for the entertainment that I provide. It's crazy. But as an extension of that, I'm looking for full-time work. I've just gone through updating, what do you call it, occupational health and safety kind of education, you know, how to safely use a bain-marie, how to maintain temperatures, which temperatures you need to maintain for most foods, and in general they need to be below 5 degrees Celsius and above 75 degrees Celsius, right? Just keep bacteria at bay, stuff like that. Anyway, so while I'm doing that, it goes through stuff like your rights at work, sexual harassment and discrimination and all that sort of stuff, right? And there's a point where you realize these are the laws, right? You can be fined a lot of money for violating some of these things, right? Obviously nobody wants to come to work and be sexually harassed or made to feel uncomfortable. Nobody should be unsafe in the work environment. These things are common sense, but when you go to the workplace and you start to protect yourself to enforce this stuff, your employer can get very, very shirty. And I find that some companies are really dodgy when it comes to things like unions or safety officers and stuff like that. And I've seen some stuff and some horror stories, and I have mentioned some of them on my videos about how, you know, that you can lose a shift or you can lose work altogether if a manager who is a client tells the labour hire company or the agency that they don't like you for whatever reason. And like when it comes to ageism, they'll just say, oh, he's slower than the other guys. Or one reason was they said I complained too much, but I was trying to protect my own safety, right? There's no need to throw beer cartons at each other. And if you are doing that, I mean, in a human chain, and I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is when I told somebody to stop because the supervisor we were working with had stopped to rearrange the beer cartons in a massive fridge, and I'd said to stop and just for 2 seconds until he was ready for me to start throwing beer cartons at him, and he turned and said, you don't get to tell him to stop, only I get to tell him to stop. Well, if I hadn't stopped, I'd be throwing beer cartons at his head, right? There's no common sense, right? Common sense is a superpower, and I get punished for that. But they keep the stupid, dangerous people on because they all go out drinking together after work. And I just think, yeah, right, you get punished for having a standard. You get punished for following the law. You get punished for trying to save the company money, right? So, for example, if you're transporting beer cartons, you want to do it as quickly and efficiently and safely as possible. But if you're throwing them at a certain speed, the probability that they'll drop goes up. And when you drop and break beer bottles and alcohol and stuff like that, that's lost profit. But me complaining about that is offensive somehow. Yeah, so these are the companies you sort of really need to look out for and whatnot. And in the previous video I mentioned that during the interview someone had asked me what my age was, Now she winced a bit, and I know it's a bit one of these dodgy topics, but do you mind if I ask how old you are? And I told her, but it was obviously used against me because the woman that owned the company didn't ring me back. So, but it's one of those things you got to trust your instincts as well. I looked at the coffee shop and just went, you know what? I even just looking at the photos on Google Maps, I just went, this is a poorly designed area. You got multiple people in a confined space, and they've all got to shuffle past each other, trying to balance full coffee cups and stuff like that. Thank you. Just letting some traffic go past. But yeah, like I mean, I can't be too picky. I mean, I'm desperate at the moment for work. And I think the Adelaide Oval might be the best bet. I know they have functions every day. And this is the kind of signs we have here. But yeah, we have functions every day. They have functions every day. And the people that work there full time, they just don't seem happy. They don't have a smile on their face. They're just there. And I'm thinking, well, if the Adelaide Oval wants to be a world-class facility, they need to lift their game a bit, like hire people who want to be there. Anyway, I've rambled on for long, and I got across the railway tracks, but I'll chat with you in a sec. I just need to stop this for a sec. It's a good thing I stopped the video there, because that turned out to be a freight train and it was a long one. So this is already a long video, and it would have given a couple of minutes of unnecessary noise and movement, which is 90% of YouTube really. So since then I have just gone to the Salisbury Uniting Church and had some soup, a good soup, and they had bread rolls and a hot chocolate. And some watermelon for dessert. So that was very kind of them. And once again, because it's a church, it's all like free of charge and things like that. I do pay my way. I do invest back into the community where I can. I volunteer as well. But yeah, like as I've said previously, I'm looking for work. And if you're watching this, I know most people aren't going to watch this for the full length, but if you are watching this and you do know somebody that needs some work done, or if you want some homework, housework done, or pretty much anything, if you just want a general hand for the day, someone to talk to while you go shopping or something like that, my rates are reasonably cheap. I've got to pay for transport and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, I don't mind helping out where I can. How can I be of benefit to you? Even if you're on the other side of the planet, I'm sure there are things that I can help you with or whatever. Yeah, I'm struggling right now, but I want to keep this positive, and I just want to say thank you for anybody who does watch these longer videos. And I know I haven't heard from some of you in a while, and I hope that you do maybe catch up and grab some popcorn and watch this for the entire length. The reason I'm doing this with my head here is so that I can say thank you for liking and subscribing to this video, to the channel. And if you like what you see, click on this video here and this video here so you can watch the next one. I'll have some more positive news for you tomorrow. I am working tomorrow, which is great, and I should get paid tomorrow evening and possibly on Friday as well. Look after yourself, and I'll be back soon. Bye for now.